So we're here tonight to check out the results of our live streaming survey. I want to start by thanking everyone who participated in the survey. We had a lot of responses and we've gotten a lot of good information from it. So first, let's start by looking at our very first question. Our first question asks whether or not you have ever attended a GHI board meeting in the past. And as you can see, looking at these results, about 25% of the people, almost a quarter of the people, have attended meetings in the past. So that's really great to see how many people have been engaged. Our next question is whether or not you know that members can attend regular sessions of the GHI Board of Directors. As you can see from looking at this, everybody except one person did know that. I do think it's a little bit concerning that there's anyone in our co-op who isn't aware that they can attend, but we're glad that you completed the survey, so now you know, and hopefully you will have the option to attend a meeting in the future. I do hope, though, that this point stands out, that we need to make sure that it is made very clear to members that they can be involved in our cooperative in this way. The next question asks whether or not how often you have attended board meetings before. So if you look at this, a majority of the people do attend for a specific agenda item. So usually for something that they might feel that pertains to them or something that is on the agenda that they wanted to be there for. This does also mean, though, that people do not attend regularly to meetings. So it would definitely be nice to see that the numbers of the people who attend regularly and semi-regularly would increase. Looking at the next question, it's what is the reason that you have attended meetings before? Looking at this, you can see that often it's mostly for one specific agenda item, which is consistent to the question that we saw above, that people do attend for one specific agenda item. But you can also see that there are 25 people who do attend to be engaged members. So that's really great to see that people are attending simply to be involved in the cooperative. So that's really, I think it speaks very strongly to those members who do want to be involved. Looking at our next question is whether or not you have attended meetings other than GHI board meetings. So again, this number is hovering right around a quarter of the people who have not attended before, which is pretty consistent to whether or not they've attended board meetings, and now following along to whether or not they've attended meetings other than board meetings. Our next question followed along the lines of what are the other meetings that you have attended. You can look at this and see that the annual meeting is the most attended meeting based on the people who completed this survey. Just a reminder that this year's meeting is going to be on May 9th. You may have seen some of the articles that we've already posted on Members United, and we will have some more articles that are coming up soon. So we hope you'll pay attention to those so that you can get a little bit more information about what will be happening at our annual meeting. But following up with some of the other meetings that people have attended, you can see that special membership meetings and town hall meetings are pretty close in the percentage of people who attend those. These are sort of those one-time only events. So you can see that people might be more likely to attend those if it's not something that they would have to regularly put into their schedule. Our next question asks whether or not you feel that the co-op and its members benefit when members attend the meetings. You can see that 90% of people strongly agree or agree that it does benefit the co-op and its members. I think this overwhelmingly shows that member involvement has a positive impact on our cooperative. The next question is whether or not you felt that it benefited you personally as an individual member when you attend board meetings. These numbers are pretty different from what it was before. 33% of people believe that it does not benefit them. In the previous question, this was only 10% of people asking whether or not it benefited the cooperative. So we'd be curious to find out what it is that you feel is different between how it benefits the cooperative and how it benefits you from attending these meetings. Our next question asks whether or not you would be more likely to be engaged, you would like to engage more often in board meetings than you currently do. You can see that 70% of people would like to engage more than they currently do. I think that this shows the need for member outreach and more options for accessibility to the meetings and the information that's being shared, because there are members who aren't participating to what they believe the full extent is, and we would definitely like to see that all members can participate as much as possible. The next question is reasons why you that would help you to attend more. Just to clarify, you can see this one point here that didn't show up. It says if you could hear what the board members were saying, just so you can see all of the points that were here in the question. You can see that there is a consistent pattern of people attending for specific agenda items. So if the items applied to them, that would be another reason that people would attend. Another reason here is whether or not the agenda items were made more clear. I think just looking at that, it's a very simple fix to make the agenda items more clear to the members. Some other important points that I noted were the duration and the accessibility of the physical space. Those are definitely concerns, and I hope that that'll be something that the board does take into consideration to allow the meeting to be more accessible to members. And then lastly, that point that I highlighted before, there were 11 people saying that they would attend if they could hear what the board members were saying. So I think that highlights a point of concern about the acoustics in the room and being able to hear. So again, just really making sure that these meetings are accessible to all members. Our next question, whether or not technology is an important part of your everyday life. Not surprisingly, you can see that about 95% of people are saying that technology is important. So that means we have a lot of people in the area who are very tech savvy and they like to use it all the time. I think knowing that with this information, it would definitely be to the advantage of the cooperative to use the aspect of technology to their advantage. Next question, getting in a little bit more specifically about live streaming, is would you be more likely to engage in these meetings if they were live streamed and you could watch them from home? 77% of people approximately said that they are interested in live streaming. And knowing from the previous question that 95% of people say that technology is an important part of their everyday lives, I think it shows a need and a relevance for live streaming in our cooperative. Next, we asked people what their current experiences were with live streaming or public access television. To clarify, this one point here is the City of Greenbelt and GHI stakeholders meeting, which is broadcasted on public access television. You can see that social media and YouTube are overwhelmingly the most used options for live streaming. I think it's important to note that these two options, social media, Twitter, Facebook, etc., and YouTube, are free to extremely inexpensive options. We're using YouTube tonight, and this is completely a free option. The next question is whether or not you feel that live streaming is relevant to GHI and its members. About 87% of people overwhelmingly do say that it is relevant. I think this ties into the fact that a lot of people use technology and that people do feel that live streaming would help them to engage more in the cooperative. There are some people who disagree. We'd be curious to find out why it is that you disagree. You can participate in our chat to share a little more information. Our next question is, do you believe that live streaming is a way to engage members more fully into the process of board meetings? 87% of people say that it does add engagement. So that's pretty consistent with a lot of the data that we've seen in previous questions. The next question is whether or not live streaming could be safe and secure. About 83% of people do believe that it could be safe and secure based on their current levels of knowledge about live streaming. We're hoping that with more knowledge, these numbers would increase as people continue to learn more about live streaming and the security features that it does have. So following up on that, to go to our most diverse graph that you can see here is whether or not people are knowledgeable about live streaming. You can see that about 39% of people do seem to feel comfortable in their knowledge about this. And then the follow-up question to that is whether or not you would like to learn more about live streaming and its security features. Over half of the people would like to learn more about that. We'd be curious to find out what it is that you would like to know. So we will be, in follow-up to this survey, we will be writing more articles on live streaming, specifically on YouTube, since that is what we have chosen to use. We will also be planning some more articles on Members United about other HOAs in Maryland and in the area that do use live streaming. So I would like to thank everyone for attending tonight. Thank you for holding in there even though we started a little bit late. This really was a great opportunity for us to give you a little bit more information about live streaming and for us to try it out ourselves for the first time as well at Members United. So thank you again to everyone who has participated, and we will see you soon. Make sure that you follow us at membersunited.net, where you can follow our blog for updates about all of our articles. Also, please follow us on social media at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and you can join our chat on Discord.